Okay, let's unpack a really common gardening puzzle. I bet a lot of you listening have run into this. You're looking at your seedlings, right? You've been nurturing them, doing everything you can, and then you wonder, wait, is this little plant just like naturally tall? Or is it getting leggy,
Well, yeah.
stretching out because it needs more light? It's such a classic thing when you're starting seeds. And honestly, it can be pretty hard to tell sometimes. So today we're going to dig into Notes on Gardening, part 618. It's a recent entry from a gardener named Ang. And Ang was looking specifically at Zinnia seedlings, which is great, very specific. Our mission here for this deep dive is really to pull out the key stuff Ang figured out. Like, what are the signs of legginess in zinnias? What's actually causing it? And maybe most importantly, what practical fix did Ang find? The idea is that you can take this info and use it for your own plants, zinnias, or maybe something else entirely.
Yeah, and what's really cool about Aang's approach, I think, is how they didn't just spot a problem and, well, stop there. They really tried to understand why it was happening. And, understanding those specific signals from the plant,
Hmm.
the reasons behind them, that's just so crucial for any gardener.
Yeah.
Because let's face it, plants can't exactly speak up and tell us, hey, I need more sun. We have to, learn their language.
Absolutely. Learn their language. And Ang's notes, they really do shine a light on that, don't they? They describe this exact situation, figuring out if a plant's just growing tall or if it's actually, spindly and stretched because it's desperate for light. So, how did Aang start to crack this common Zinnia issue? What was that first clue? That first observation that helped sort out legginess from just being tall?
Well, it really came down to a comparison Aang made. It was actually pretty clever, almost scientific in a way. They didn't just stare at the zinnias alone.
Yeah.
No, Aang compared their zinnia seedlings to Basil and Celosia seedlings. And here's the key part. They were all growing in the exact same spot, the same microclimate, you could say, literally right next to each other. And the basil, the celosia, they were doing great, thriving, actually. No signs of legginess at all.
Ah, okay.
So, you see, this comparison was smart because it helped rule out, a general problem with the environment, maybe not enough light overall or bad soil or something. It strongly suggested the issue was specific to the zinnias. Something about their needs wasn't being met.
Right. So not a problem with the setup generally, but something unique to the zinnias in that setup
That's a big step, yeah.
for diagnosis.
So what did Ang's notes then say about the zinnia's specific needs, the ones that weren't being met? What's the actual root cause, according to Ang? Well, Ang zeroed in on light. It turns out zinnias, maybe unlike some other seedlings like that Basil and Celosia, they really crave full, direct sunlight. We're talking a good 6 to 8 hours a day. Ideally, that's quite a lot.
6 to 8 hours. Wow.
Yeah. And this intense need for light. That's the underlying reason for the legginess Ang observed.
Yeah.
And the sign, the big telltale sign that your zinnias aren't getting enough of that direct sun. It's those long, thin, stretchy stems. Ang specifically calls them a classic sign.
Mm.
It's like the plants are literally reaching,
Oh.
stretching themselves out, desperately trying to find more light. You can almost picture them straining upwards.
Okay, so the diagnosis seems pretty clear then. Long, stretchy stems on zinnias equals not getting their 6 to 8 hours of direct sun. Simple enough when you know what to look for. So once Ang had that diagnosis nailed down, what was the fix? What was the practical solution suggested in the notes? And when's the right moment to actually do something?
Ang's notes are actually very clear on both the what and the when. They advise that you should wait until the true leaves have appeared on the zinnia seedlings. Not the first little seed leaves, but the next set.
The true leaves. Okay.
Yeah, that's the signal. That's like the green light, the perfect time to intervene and transplant them.
Got it. And transplant them. Where? What's the objective of moving them? And what should happen next?
Right, so the next step is getting them into their own individual pots.
Mm-hmm.
That gives them space.
Yeah.
But crucially, the most important part is where you put those pots. You need to move them to a spot, a microclimate, where they will get that bright, direct sunlight they're craving. That's 6 to 8 hours, remember?
Right. The full dose.
Exactly. And the expectation, according to Ang's notes, is that this move should really help them bulk up, basically. Grow into much sturdier, healthier plants, not those weak, leggy things. It's a really clear action plan based on that specific diagnosis.
Makes total sense. Observe the symptom, understand the specific need, change the environment accordingly.
Precisely. And if we sort of zoom out for a second, the main thing we learned from Ang's experience here
Yeah.
is just how vital it is to understand a specific plant's needs.
Yeah.
Like the zinnia needing all that direct sun. That's key for figuring out problems like legginess. And also, the timing matters, right? Seeing those true leaves is the cue. It tells you, okay, now's the time to move them to that sunnier spot if you want that strong, sturdy growth.
So the big takeaway is really about paying close attention to your specific plant, what it's telling you through symptoms like those stretchy stems, and then adjusting its environment based on its particular appetite for things like light. Okay, so for a final thought, something maybe to chew on,
Mm.
think about how this whole principle could work outside the garden. This idea of watching for specific signs like those leggy stems reaching and then comparing that to how other things are doing in the same microclimate. Remember Aang using the Basil and Celosia kind of like a baseline?
The control group idea.
Yeah, how could that method, careful observation, comparison, understanding underlying needs, help you figure out and maybe solve problems in, well, other parts of your life, or in learning something new? It's all about really looking, comparing smartly, and digging down to what's really needed. Anyway, just something to think about until our next deep dive.